I've made millions of dollars online and I'm also very lazy. And in this video, I'm gonna walk you through exactly how you can turn laziness and a little bit of ambition into millions of dollars online. And the reason I say this is because there's so many people out there who preach this hustle culture of you need to get up at 3 in the morning, go to bed at 3 in the morning, and you have to work 80 hours a day and hustle 24/7 and never, ever enjoy yourself. And that's the only way for you to make money. And in this video, I'm gonna break down not only how that isn't true and what you should be doing instead if you're ambitious but a little bit lazy and you want to enjoy your life while also making a ton of money in the process. So let me break it down. Over the years of me working online and building online businesses and making money online, I've noticed there's two types of lazy people. And I like to call them broke lazy and rich lazy. It sounds stupid, but hear me out. What is the broke lazy person? They're the person who avoids work entirely. They're wanting results without any effort. They're always looking for that next get-rich-quick scheme. They never want to invest any money or energy up front, and they love staying comfortable and never going through that little bit of discomfort that's required to, build a business. That is broke lazy. Why? Well, it's because the way that they act is going to keep them broke. And I'm going to break it down in more detail in a second. But what about rich lazy? Well, rich lazy invests energy and time once to create systems. They automate everything they possibly can because they don't want to do that. But if it brings in money, they're going to make sure it's operating. Meaning they can work hard up front to be lazy later and get paid handsomely. Ultimately building assets that work without them. And when I think back to when I started my journey, I was broke lazy. I was watching different videos, looking for the easiest, fastest, most magic get-rich-quick scheme on the planet to get started making some extra money without having to put down my Call of Duty controller and actually build something. And I was wondering why I'm not getting the results. Why am I not seeing the money pour into my account like these other people are? Until I realized the difference. I was broke lazy. I didn't want to put in the effort. But the rich lazy put in the effort so they can be lazy later and enjoy the money that comes from what it is that they've built. So I decided, you know what, I'm actually going to show some initiative. I'm going to get a coach. I'm going to learn some skills and I'm going to build a business so that I can play Call of Duty if I want. Hang out with friends, have some drinks, not do anything for the day and still have that money coming in, but it started with that effort. So let's dive into what I like to call the rich lazy philosophy. Put simply, it's invest energy once, profit forever. You see, when they're building a business, rich people, whether it is online or it's offline, they look at a business model and they go, how can I do this once and benefit repeatedly forever? They're not interested in building a job for themselves. They're interested in building systems. Systems that allow them to consistently earn money and cash every single day from something they built 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 12 months, 24 months, a decade ago. And it's not because they're lazy in a bad way. They're not avoiding work. They're just avoiding having to do work consistently, repeatedly, over and over and over again. They'd much rather do a little bit up front, build a system that makes some money, and then enjoy the profits and the proceeds that come from it. Now, how do you do this for yourself? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down the 4 pillars of being rich lazy and building an online business or an offline business if you really wanted to, that spits out cash into your pocket without you having to consistently do all the boring work you don't wanna do. So let's dive in. Pillar 1, find what makes money and dial it in. The reason why this is the first thing is because at the end of the day, you can't automate something that doesn't exist. You need to have someone that's making money first. Either they don't know what to build or they don't want to build it because they think it's going to require all this time, energy, and effort forever. But as you know, we're going to be following the rich lazy method of building it once and letting it pay and letting us pay us for a long time. But it all starts with building something at first. So rich lazy people, they go out and build a business. They see money come in, they dial it in, they make sure it's working smoothly, and then they move into the next steps. I'm going to give you a few examples. The first one is, say, for a content creator who wants to go viral. Well, that content creator might test 50 to 100 to 150 different styles of content over a month or so. They put them out there. It doesn't cost them any money to put different videos out on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, whatever it may be. But as a result of all this work of scripting and energy, of filming and editing, eventually they're going to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of content that work really well for their audience. And now, because they did all the hard work here as opposed to a couple of videos a week, nothing too crazy, they know exactly what's going to work. And they can just keep repeating that kind of content, film it once a month for an hour a day, and then from there they just enjoy the rest of the month because they know they're putting up content that's going to go viral for them. That little period of hard work saves them years of effort and trial and error that would have got them nowhere. It's the same thing with what we do here at Ecom Boss with our beginners. We teach them how to test 5, 6 products a day on these free platforms like Facebook Marketplace or eBay, where they can put products up in front of a marketplace full of buyers and immediately see what's going to sell and what's not going to sell. Compare that to most people who say build a Shopify store. They might test 1 product every 2 months. Our clients at Ecom Boss, they're doing like 5 a day. So as a result of that compounding every single day, 5 a day, 5 a day, 5 a day, 5 a day, as soon as they find something that's making the money that's working, we double down on that. We know what's selling, we know what niche is working, we know what the algorithm is pushing, so we just do more of that product, more of that product, more of that product. So if it's a pet product, we might go and do more pet products, dog products, cat products. We might start to do bundles. We might start to go to different platforms. If it's working on Facebook Marketplace, we might go to eBay or Etsy and start to play around with these different things. But because we tested so quickly, we're able to then enjoy the proceeds of that and ride the wave as we see more sales coming. It gets easier and faster and effortless because we know exactly what's selling, so we just did the hard work beforehand. This stuff gets me very excited. The bottom line is we do the work up front. If you need to have 16 espressos or God's nectar itself, Monster Energy, not sponsored. Once you've done the work, you've got something that works, you've got something that's making you money, and then from there, you can leverage it and move into pillar 2. Pillar number 2, leverage AI and tech to remove repetitive tasks. Bottom line is nobody likes to do the same shit over and over again. It's boring. So the things that can be repeated that we don't have to then repeat over and over again, that removes a massive part of our workload. So if we've got something that's making us money, pillar 1, and then we're able to remove 80% of the stuff because it's just repetitive things you have to do over and over and over and over again, then that immediately lets us make the same amount of money, but with way less effort. And that's where AI and technology, softwares, stuff like that comes in. If we can get a robot to do a lot of that stuff for us, that allows us to free up our time, our mental real estate to work on new things or just spend time doing more things we enjoy that are completely separate. Let me give you some examples. In Ecom Boss, we used to have to go out there and when we found a product, we'd have to download the photos and edit the photos. We'd have to write the descriptions, have to write the titles, have to come up with tags for SEO. All these different things we'd have to do manually. Now, it wasn't the end of the world, no. Our clients didn't really care because it's making them money, but it took time. But as soon as we had AI, it was starting to be rolled out. We started to see, oh my God, this is the most repetitive, boring part of the process that nobody likes to do. Well, why don't we just use AI to do it for us? And so it's got to the point now when we have a system that's working, but we now have an AI tool that we're able to go find a product and right click, one click, boom, that product gets turned into a listing. The title's done, the description's done, the SEO tags are done, the photos are done, ready to rock and roll. And the client doesn't really have to do anything, saving them 10, 15 minutes per product they want to put up. And if we're putting up 5 products a day, that's only an hour that you're saving throughout the day while still getting the same effect of putting those products up, finding what's working, making a ton of money off of it. And it's across all industries. If you're an email marketer like I was when I started out my journey, you're not going out there and writing emails. And if you have a list of 1,000 emails on your list, you're not sending 1,000 individual emails to each individual person. No, you have an email software that allows you to one click send the emails out to everyone else. If you are a social media manager, you're not going out there and physically posting every piece of content. No, you schedule it on a scheduling platform. And then it gets queued up to get dropped on this day or that day, at this time, at that time. So you don't have to go out there and be glued to your phone posting every single second of the day. Earlier in my career, I was a copywriter, which means I used to write a lot of advertising or marketing, emails and ads and stuff like that. If I was a copywriter, I wouldn't be doing that stuff from scratch. I would be using AI to write my first draft. I would have all my prompts and my templates ready to go. And then I would edit the draft. I wouldn't be writing by hand the draft. And the draft usually is the thing that takes the most amount of time, knocking out around 80% of the work, and the 20% is really just the fine tuning, the tweaking, all the fun stuff that really makes that copy shine and make money. I think you get the point. Technology does the boring, repetitive work that does lead to money, but it allows you to focus your energy and your mind on the things that really make the biggest differences that you don't necessarily want an AI or a piece of technology to do for you, or maybe at the stage it just can't be done by it yet. But let's be real, a few weeks from now, most likely, AI will be able to do everything for us and we'll actually be wiped out as an entire race as the Terminators take over and we become prehistoric like the dinosaurs. So enjoy being able to do things on your own while it lasts. Now let's move on to pillar 3. We've built something that works, we've dialed it in. We've gone out there and we've leveraged AI and technology to remove the repetitive stuff. Now, what do we do about the rest? The things that we're not using AI for, things we're not using tech for, or just things you don't really want them to be doing. VAs and team. If it can't be done by a robot or a piece of software or AI, we're going to use real people. So what do rich, lazy people do? They hire people to do the work that they don't want to do for them. And this could be in the form of an employee. If you're working online, a virtual assistant, a VA. Somebody who works overseas, who is usually a little bit cheaper or a lot cheaper than hiring someone directly, say here in Australia, who is able to do those tasks for you remotely whenever you need. Meaning that those things that a human kind of needs to be involved in, you can train somebody up one time to do them for you, which essentially automates everything else that the AI and the tech couldn't do in the first place. So what are some examples? Well, YouTubers would hire an editor to go ahead and edit their videos, because in my opinion, AI isn't that great at editing videos just yet. Remind me probably in 2 weeks and I'll have to fire my whole video team.
Cal.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Cal. No, we love Cal. Cal's too handsome to be replaced. And even here with Ecom Boss, what we do with our clients is there's certain things like fulfilling an order through a supplier. Like you get paid by a customer, you have to take a small amount of what they paid you and give that to the supplier. Well, that requires you to actually process the payment and go out there and fulfill that order. And so what we oftentimes have is a virtual assistant who will come in and they might work 1 hour a day, and that could be $5, $7 for that hour. They'll fulfill the orders for our clients, or they'll go ahead and reply to the support emails if there are any issues with any products. These things that a client of mine most likely doesn't want to do, or at least doesn't want to do for long, once they've got money coming in, they'd much rather take 1% of what they're getting and give that to somebody else to do the stuff they don't want to do. Again, freeing up your mind, freeing up your time, freeing up your energy to do the things you want to do while still making the money you want. And if you're thinking, well, nobody can do it as well as I can, and that's one of the biggest things that gets people stuck, remember this. If someone can do a job 80% as well as you for 20% of the cost or 20% of the energy and effort it would have taken you, then delegate it. If you can pay someone $20 to do a job that's going to generate you $200, then that's a really good ROI. The bottom line is, after you delegated with AI and tech, finish the rest off with a team of VAs. Which brings us to pillar number 4. Let the money print to print and look for your next opportunity. Or kick back and relax and just enjoy yourself because you deserve it. The bottom line is, rich, lazy people, the way that they make so much money is because they don't just build one income stream that makes them money, which is great and it's an amazing place to start. They build multiple set and forget income streams for themselves. After all, the more the merrier, and worst case scenario, if one has a dip or one's having a bit of a bad month, the other one's more than make up for it. So you're not stressing out because one isn't doing as well as it used to last month and it'll probably pick up next month anyway. So for example, somebody might build a really profitable YouTube channel. They'll delegate that and then they'll usually start a second one. Same at Ecom Boss. With our clients, we usually start them with Facebook Marketplace, get them making money there, and then we add in eBay, we add in Etsy, we add in other platforms so we can stack these babies up to bring in that income every single day without necessarily adding to the workload because we have stuff like virtual assistants, we have stuff like AI, we have ways to delegate almost every single part of it so that you can make the money without you necessarily having to do all the work. But the biggest mistake you can make is have your first income stream that's starting to run on its own and go, that's it, I'm done, I'm retired, that's it, I don't need to do anything ever again, this is it, this is me, I'm gonna sit pina coladas on the beach and I'm never gonna log into my social media or check my phone ever again, I'm gonna be sweet. No, eventually you're gonna wanna have something else going. So the ultimate rich lazy mindset is this: build it, systemize it, delegate it, enjoy it, and then build the next one. And then you rinse and repeat. So to make this infinitely clear before we finish this up, broke lazy people are as follows. I don't want to do the research, I'll just wing it. I don't want to put a bunch of time into something with no guarantees that it's going to make me any money. I don't want to sacrifice my 1 hour a day of watching Netflix or playing PlayStation to build that business. That's just too much effort. I want passive income with no work required. I feel gross just saying this stuff. Versus the rich lazy, I'll research once so I can enjoy the revenue forever. I'll work as hard as I need to get the income coming in and build those passive systems so I can enjoy myself and do whatever I want. And most importantly, all rich lazy people are just like this. I am too lazy to work for somebody else for the next 40 years. So I'm going to build systems that work without me so I never ever have to do that ever again. But there you go. That is the difference between the two. That is how you go out there and make millions of dollars online without needing to do a ton of work. And if you look at all successful entrepreneurs, you're going to find a pattern like this. Put in the work once, build it up, systemize it, delegate it, enjoy the profit, and then build more cool stuff. It's the most fun you can have in the world. Enjoy this, take action on this, and if you want to find out more about how you can get the right business model, how to get started on your online business journey, check out the other videos here on my page. I'm happy to guide you in the right direction. But for now,